Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Season 2 of Diorama Talk. We made it. I know it felt like forever, but we are here. It is August 7th, and we are back, and we are starting it off right. We got Diorama Boy tonight. But before we get into that, a few announcements, a few things I want to cover before we get into the show. The first one is you guys have probably seen on Instagram, but the Infinity Equation and Just Jay Hernandez is putting on a charity drive for Toys for Tots. I have it pinned here in the comments. So if you guys are feeling in the mood to donate, especially for this really awesome cause for the month of August, go check that out. Donate if you can. It'll be much appreciated. So a couple other things, giveaways, rigaways. This time around is going to be a little bit different. The artist, I'm going to pin on the artist each week to actually give out the figure. So how we're going to do this is they're going to pick from questions or comments or whatever it is. They're going to pick out somebody from the live stream. So that means you have to be participating in the live stream, interacting with others, saying things to get the attention of the artist. And at the end of the night, we'll announce who that is. And then lastly, I just want to go over the schedule for season 2. And it is a huge schedule. We got another dynamite season. We got a bunch of terrific artists. So the lineup, you guys already know number 1, Diorama Boy is coming in tonight. The rest of the list, still working on the schedule, so it's not in any exact order. But here we go. We got Star Marvel, Vasco Toys, Namai Customs, Oilers Workshop, Lawless Studios, 796 Studios, Foil Customs, a.k.a. the Sunny Channel, Playing with Myself, Adam Van Weekler, The Chamba, The Diorama Project, Dio Romo, Wheels for Legs, That Guy's Custom, Geek Chick Style, Mike Hamsey, Artman, Toying Around, and Prime to the First. And I think I said Nico, but yeah, Nico Hodge. So we got an amazing schedule. It's going to start from today, end of December. There's going to be a couple, weeks off in there. I got an anniversary coming up. Guys, I need to make sure I don't do anything that weekend. I don't want my wife mad at me. It's our 11th year anniversary, so I'm going to take that weekend off. And that's it, guys. That's the announcements for today. So we're going to get into it. Here we go. Diorama Boy. Lee, what's going on?
Hello. All right.
How you feeling, man? You're just getting back from the concert, right?
I'm good. I'm tuned in. I'm ready to go.
So, Lee is a UK diorama artist. If you guys aren't following Diorama Boy over on Instagram, make sure you do that tonight. In the comments below, you'll find his Instagram. He's a great diorama artist. You'll see it tonight. We're going to share it. But there is a 5-hour gap. So it's 2 a.m. actually over at his time. And he's been at a concert all day. So make sure we take it easy on Lee tonight, okay? He's got a couple Red Bulls with him. But we'll try to keep this down to about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But Lee, for those that don't know who you are, give us like a quick elevator, pitch of who you are.
I'm 41, so I'm getting old. I'm a prison officer over in the UK, which is probably the worst job you could have other than a soldier. And I've got my two boys, 8 and 11, Flynn and Noah, that keep me busy. And then in a bit of my spare time that I've got, I build the dioramas. So I don't really use them myself. They're just for, I enjoy seeing them being used on Instagram and things like that. So that's what got me going.
One of the first times I saw your work was this week in Diorama's YouTube. And I remember like sequentially, like every week when I was big into watching, like you would be on there at least once or twice. And I was like, I got to get to know this guy. His art is amazing.
Yeah, I was like, if I'm not on it now, I'm like, how dare you not include me on the show?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't watch today's episode, but I need to catch up on this week in dioramas.
I haven't seen today's. No. If I'm not on it, I'm not watching it. It's as simple as I'm only joking. No, it showcases everyone, doesn't it? I like watching that because I like seeing the different scales used as well. You know, some guys do them that are the really, you know, like almost Warcraft size stuff. You know, and I've never done. I'd love to do. I reckon I could do that, but I've just never. No one's ever asked me to. So
Yeah, it's definitely real cool because it's like, yeah, it's all formats, right? It's not just 1/12 scale or action figure
yeah,
driven. There's things that are like little small things or like, what do you call the ones in like the bottles, like shipping the bottle type thing?
yeah.
It's all over the place. It's awesome.
Or the bookshelf ones where they have a little
Yeah, book nooks. Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
So real quick, I'm going to run through some of the folks in the live that are kind of like regulars from season 1, just to say what's up and get that out the way. So Plastiatico was the first one coming with the knives tonight. What's up, Plasty? I don't know if you're here or not, but what's going on? Cerebral Deep, August Photos. What's up, Matt? Toy Rensu, what's going on? First time on the channel, first live. Well, you're doing it right with Lee tonight. Lee is an awesome diorama artist. Star Marvel, what's going on? Mr. C, Billy Moon, 796 Studios, what's up, dude? Toying Around Kev, what's up? Elizabeth, what's going on? The Chamba, the Australian artist, what's going on? He will be on later in the season. I feel like I didn't say his name in the artist lineup, so I apologize if I didn't. Omar Vasquez, what's going on? Clockwork Orgy, what's up, dude? Chad Kinsler, the kind of the motivator of Instagram. That dude is the nicest dude in the world. Vasco Toys, what's up, Vasco? Shared the live tonight. And Soul Brother, thank you all. Thank you all for coming out and catching the first episode of Diorama Talk. Well, Lee, let's get into it, dude. Let me get Omar off the screen. So you're a toy collector, right? Is that what got you into the diorama making?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was when I was a kid in the 80s. Like we were saying last night, I was into like GI Joes, Visionaries. I had all the Star Wars figures, but I used to just cast them aside because I didn't like, you know, swivel legs and arms that didn't bend at the elbow. So I was really into the GI Joes, but it was only a bit later on when I had kids that Noah used to play. He's my eldest, and he used to play with his figures, and I used to think, I wonder if I've still got my GI Joes. So I found what ones I had left, and I thought, you'll like these. So I started going on Facebook and joining various figure groups, and that was it. I sort of found my way back into it because I was always into like manga and anime and stuff like that, and I'd never heard of like Figma and, you know, all these different, you know, Mezco things. I'd never heard of any of them until like I think it was like me early to mid 30s, and I got a couple, and that was it. I was sucked back in then.
So you got a couple of Mezcos in the collection. What Mezcos you got?
I did have. I got the first ones. I think like the first ones of the, you know, with the cloth goods. I got the Batman when that came out, and the Judge Dredd. I'm terrible, me though, for moving stuff on. So I'll get something, and then I'd have it for a few weeks, and then I'd get rid of it. You know.
Right.
And in the end, I just sort of stuck with it was the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure figures, like I was saying, the Medicos SAS. I had a massive collection of them, because I was a big fan of obviously the manga. But I ended up getting rid of all them as well. So now I literally just have the Dragon Quest ones that I've got from years ago, and I've got all the Figma Berserk, you know. So I tend to just keep, like, now I've got like a Punisher that I use on dioramas and things like that. So what I have left now is literally just what I put in the pictures for the dioramas when I don't have anything on display. I used to have a little man cave, but that's gone. So yeah,
kids. So when you build the dioramas, you're using a true 1/12 scale figure, because you said it's Figma, right? Isn't Figma a true 1/12 scale?
Yeah, I use the Mezcos pretty much when I'm doing it. The sizing, a lot of it was just asking questions when I first started, because the lady in the UK, Louise Townend, that was the one who I first saw making them. Obviously, other people have been doing them for years, but I just saw her stuff. And they call her like the diorama queen over here, you know. And she had a lot of patience. I asked her a lot of questions, and you know, in terms of sizing doorways and things like that. And then I don't know, you just do your own thing. Then after a bit, it was just good help to get me going. You know, she was very patient, because I'd be like, "Where'd you get the foam from? Where'd you get this from? What paint do you use?" And then eventually you just, I still think every week I'll see something on Instagram and I think, how's he done that? You know, I've no problem with asking someone, and I don't
Right.
mind asking me. If anyone asks me, I'll always answer. You know, how do you do that, or what do you use? If I can help, I will. You know, because I got helped along the way. So
Well, so I know a little bit about you, the background. You were a graphic artist at one point. So is that where a lot of your artistry pulls from? Obviously, you have some talent with your hands. Where did that come from?
I think yeah, because when I was at college in my younger days, that's what I did. I was a graphic designer, so I was always into like corporate identity logos, you know, CD covers for local bands and things like that. And then when I lost my job, I dossed about from different jobs, you know, like warehousing and things like that. And then I joined the prison service, and I've been doing that since like 2006. So it's a mind-numbing job with, you know, very little satisfaction. So once I discovered like the figures with Noah, and I got the dioramas, it was just like, I think when I'd made a few for myself initially, I was just like, oh, I'm not too bad at this. And then I started doing them for these acid rain. It was called. They're like 118
Yep.
size. Really, I don't know if you've seen them. They're really good. So I
Mhm.
started doing a few like bombed out, disused buildings, and pretty much sold them to the same guy every time. And then I thought I started enjoying it, and then you know my ex partner, she'd be watching her crappy TV programs in one room, and I'd think, you know what, I'm just gonna instead of sitting here, I'm just gonna go and do something, you know. So it was good. It was a bit of a way of letting off steam, and then, like you say, when I was at work, I felt like there was nothing creative about my job whatsoever. There still isn't now. But then when I did that, when I started making the dioramas and I'd see people using them, you know, I'd get a lot of satisfaction. I mean, when I build one and I sit and I look at it, I feel absolutely nothing. But when it's gone to the person and I see them post on Instagram, and I think, wow, like there's a guy, a good friend of mine called Ian Hughes. Um, I'm terrible with Instagram names. I think it's MB Editions, his thing. And God, he's got loads of my dioramas, and I could just look at the stuff he does. The photographs he takes using them are unbelievable. So that's pretty much what, you know. That's the satisfaction I get from it, and it is. It's just because I think it's because of the graphic design background, where I was a little bit creative. It just I'd been stagnant for so long, and the dioramas just give me that bit back again, you know.
Yeah. Have you worked with those materials and like painted and stuff before, or were you learning as you were
No,
producing?
never. No, because a lot of the stuff, I mean, as part of the graphic design course, we used to do fine art, so I could, you know, I was all right with a paintbrush. Nothing, you know, and I could draw, but nothing, not much better than anyone else, because a lot of the graphic design stuff was Photoshop, Quark, you know, them sort of things. So and do you know what? I've never enjoyed crafts. You know, like even when the kids get Play-Doh out now, other than liking the smell of Play-Doh, I can't stand the mess. And I'm not a very crafty kind. You know, if you get when we was at school and they get the paper and the glue out, I'll be like, oh God, I can't be arsed with this. But now I find myself, you know, up to me neck in paint every 5 minutes these days. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I want to get into that because there's something cool about especially this conversation here is, we're from almost, I don't mean two different worlds, but two different countries, for
yeah,
fact, right? So how we build materials we build are obviously different, right? Because what we
yeah,
have access to. You want to jump into that a little bit?
yeah. So I noticed with obviously with the US builders, the foam you use must be at least an inch thick. A lot of it is an inch thick, isn't it? It seems really, it's pink, isn't it, as well? And it seems really thick. And I always think, like, God, you must have to do some real carving work there. You know, even when you're just cutting straight lines with what you call an X-Acto knife, don't you? Is that what you
Yeah.
call it? X-Acto knife?
Uh, well, that's the brand. So I use an X-Acto knife, and most of us use it. We also use like the long box cutters as well.
Yeah. Well, we
Um,
call them Stanley knives, yeah.
Yeah. And we have half-inch, inch, and like 2-inch foam. The pink stuff is the most popular. There's
Yeah,
other colors and brands. It just doesn't have the same feel. Like there's like grains and some of the green stuff
yeah, yeah,
offered by a different retailer that it just when you cut it, it tears. Even with the sharp blade, it tears. So
yeah,
the pink stuff is probably the best that we have. And then most people do build for 1 inch. 796 Studios is adamant about using 1/2 inch. So, but yeah, most of it's pink 1-inch foam.
Well, for the first few years, ours was all blue. It was a blue foam, and then all of a sudden it's all grey. So if you can see the thickness of this now, so that's it. It's like 1 centimetre thick, and that's it. That's all. You know, you can see I don't know if you can get it there. Yeah. So that's like a wall section of one that I've done, and you can see how thin it is. And I notice as well, you use the big ceramic magnets a lot, don't you, over there?
Yeah, like 18 millimeter ceramic magnets.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you can see where my finger is there. You see my finger there?
Oh, that's a small guy. Oh, yeah.
That's tiny. Yeah, that's all. It's 3 millimeters by 6 millimeters. That's the size magnets that I use, because they're a lot easier to hide. I mean,
yeah.
People will often get them off me and they'll say, "I thought this was magnetized," and I'll be like, "It is. You just can't see the magnets, you know."
Right.
And they're strong little buggers as well. You know, I'll use a few of them. If I'm using one that's like because I quite often do the corridor dioramas, so the roof strengthens it, but I like the walls to stand free, upright. So I'll pepper it with loads of magnets along. But then I'll look at the American builders and I'll see they've only used like 3 of these quite large ceramic magnets. That we don't have them over here. But yeah, so that I just find working with that thickness foam. I mean, if I'm ever doing like a Dragon Ball, something like that, and I want a landscape, then I'll revert back to the 1-inch stuff. But it's costly over here. With everything, America has it cheaper than we have it. You know, I mean, I could drive around in a Ford Focus here. Oh, if I was living in America, I'd have a Mustang. That's just how it is. And it's the same with materials. We just seem to pay through the roof for everything. You know.
Yeah, so here in US dollars, they sell the 1-inch pink foam in a 2x2, and I think that's like $5, maybe $6 with tax. So that gives you an idea of what it costs. And typically, I'll use 2 or 3 on those for a diorama.
Yeah, so, I buy big sheets of it now. That I used to get it from a place, and it'd only come in. It'd be like, what would it be? I think it was like, you know, like I'm trying to think of the measurements of it. The ones I get now are absolutely massive, and I can get like, you know, pretty much one diorama out of the full sheet. But I revert. So what I'll do is to save costs and that, I'll use, so for the main walls, I'll use the 1 centimetre thickness, and then when I'm doing the base, if I can, and for the roof, I'll use the 0.5. So it's halved again, and I'll use the thinnest foam you can get for the roof sections, because it's just otherwise you're just wasting the thicker foam on that you don't really need it for the roof, you know.
Yeah, one of the problems with our larger, like the 4x8 pieces and the 1-inch and 2-inch foam, is it comes pre-scored so that you can break it and fit it into the rafters. The stuff it's really used for insulating the house. Yeah. So that kind of sucks. So that's why I either use the 2x2s or I buy the full, 4x8 1/2-inch sheets.
Well, my supplier was getting annoyed with me because I was getting it off a supplier on eBay, and I'd only order like 5 sheets. The minimum order was like 5 sheets. So I'd order 5 sheets, and in the end they stopped me getting it because they said, "You're not really. It's for like business, isn't it? Ordering 100 sheets." So I never wanted that many, in any one time. So in the end, like, we come to an agreement where I paid X amount to get so many, because in the end it was costing him more to send it. He wasn't making any. So yeah, I've switched suppliers now.
Well, I guess that happens. So foam's different. You have a gray foam. I've ordered some stuff from Shifting Lands. I know that's over in the Netherlands, but that's closer to you than me. And I've done a lot of research on like the foam he uses.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more dense than the foam that we have. Is your stuff really hard?
No, not really. No. It's hard. I've got because I've never had my hands on the pink foam that you use, but I've got. Yeah. I imagine it is similar to what we have, but I don't know. I mean, you don't have to score deep into it. I'll just give it. What I do is I just give it a like if I'm doing that there, that'll represent, like, it's supposed to be like tiles, so I'll just score down it lightly, and then I'll go back over it with a longer tip biro. You know what I mean? And you don't have to give it much pressure.
Yeah.
That's upside down, I think. So if I'm doing if I'm doing brickwork, for example, again, I just give it I'll go that way with my scalpel, or your X-Acto knife, as you call it, and then I'll go over it with the biro again, and then I'll just, so it doesn't take much to put an indent in it. Like, it's not, if you snap it, it'll just snap. It doesn't break into a million pieces like some crap foam does.
Right.
It's pretty strong. Yeah.
Maybe I will send you some pink foam. Hopefully there's no regulations on it. I'll send you some stuff. I'll get your address and send you some stuff just so you have an idea if you're interested.
Yeah, I've always wondered what it was like to work with. Again, I imagine it. I just find it. I don't use anything bigger than the 1 centimeter. If it's the 1 inch thickness, I'll only ever use that for like support pillars. If I'm doing a concrete pillar, or if I'm doing a thicker wall. But it's very rare that I'll use that. But
I'll send you some samples.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when you build, I think you're probably most famous for your like alleyways and your corridors. What's the inspiration for those?
I just, when I did commissions, it was hard because at first I liked it because people had asked me to do different things. So I'd get like somebody'd say, "I want you to do the airport scene from the event, the Civil War film." So I did like an airport scene, and another guy said he wanted something from Berserk, and I was into it, and they were the people that were asking me to do stuff. I think it was because there wasn't many people doing them over here then. They were a lot more, it was like they had less expectancy, so they were just quite happy to say, "I want you to do this, and I'm not going to have any input into it, and there's no expectation." And luckily, they were always happy with it. As it went on, people then start saying, "I want this, I want that," and it sapped the enjoyment out of it. And I get that, if you're asking for something, you want what you're asking for, don't you? And I've always said I understand that, but if I'm not enjoying it, I ain't doing it. Simple as that.
It kills the creativity, right?
It did, yeah. I just stopped enjoying it. But what I started doing, it seemed like everyone does everybody. It's the obvious thing. Alleyways, everyone was doing the same thing all the time, which I've again no problem with because people like them for the Marvel things, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
But then I just got fed up of seeing. I'm not like being big-headed but you sometimes you see the same stuff all the time. Now, I'll make no secret of I've seen when I was getting going and learning, I'd see things like Joshua Green, Sage Dog. You know what I mean? I'd see things he'd do, and his work's fantastic. And I think there was one, I can't remember which one it is. It was like he did one with like a door at one end and the windows, and I've done loads of it since. But my take on it, excuse me. So I'd see things like what they were doing, so I'd take inspiration from other builders, and it was only when I really got onto like Instagram that I was exposed to the US builders, But after a while, again, it just becomes saturated with alleyway. It's just the same stuff. So it was more when I started speaking to the people who did the photography, the AC is it articulated comic book art.
Yeah, ACBA. Yep.
Yeah, I started thinking, well, what can I do a bit different here? So I'd plow through Google Images, I think, and I'd have a look through, and then sometimes I'd see an existing diorama, and I think, right, I won't make it better, but I could probably do my take on it. So then where it just got to, sometimes I'd see an image of something, I think, right, I'm going to recreate that. It'd just be a photograph of something on Google, and then that allowed me then to build up like my own bit of a back catalogue where I'd have my own, that I could then copy my own work and add changes to that,
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I veered a bit away from the brickwork and the alleyways. I still do them now and then, to the tunnels and the, doing it. I just wanted to be a bit different because I was sick of seeing the same stuff. So I just tried to be a bit more obscure and do a few one-off pieces. Like I did a gas station. It was slightly out of scale. It was okay until you actually did put a 112 car. I didn't expect anyone to actually have a 112 car to put in it, and other ones like the subway diorama, everyone always seems to like that subway, the New York subway, even though it probably looks nothing like a New York subway from what I remember when I went to New York. But a lot of people from New York seem to get it. So, yeah, so I just like to change it up a bit, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and it can be tough, especially on Instagram. There's so many great artists, and especially the past, I feel like 2 years, like so many new artists have hit the scene with
Yeah,
so much talent. Like it's like, I can't do it that good. So I'm not even going to try to do it like that. But yeah, it can be a curse and a blessing, I think.
yeah. You see something like the Oilers Workshop, and I look at his stuff and I think, my God. But at the same token, I think to myself, I'm confident I could do probably to that level, but I'm just that lazy. I think, could I be asked given the time to doing that? I just don't think I could be bothered doing it. I'm quite happy just watching him do it.
Yeah, right.
I enjoy watching his, seeing his things. There's a couple, and again, I'm terrible with names. I think you mentioned one before, Vasco.
Vasco Toys.
Like I said before, Sage Dog. I like seeing their stuff, but when I see people like the Oilers Workshop where he does these massive, these big builds, I think, God, that must take him, weeks. And I think if I'm doing a diorama, if it ain't done in 2 days, it's not for me. So
Right. Yeah, I've had a couple. I did a expansion last summer. It took me 5 months, and I'm working one now that I'm like 2 months into.
I couldn't
It's
do that.
huge. Yeah, it's like 5 by 3 feet.
Yeah,
I don't know the metric system, so I don't know how to convert that. Sorry. But it's huge, right? And there's so much detail. This particular client wants so much detail. So it's not just like building, it's like designing, building, cutting. And I have a few machines that assist me. I do not cut my foam, the DMC, with machines. I detail my foam with machines, but I cut my foam by hand. There's a difference.
yeah. I notice a lot of the Americans, they do a lot of carving with the foam, don't they? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't tend to do that. No, I when I'm detailing, whether it's just because I've never done one that's required it or not, I don't know. When you see a lot of people doing these thrones, you see them all the time on Instagram. People are building like thrones and things like that, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like quite intricate. Like when I've done the Dragon Ball dioramas, I just get, I'm just like that. God, I can't be arsed with this. When you're carving the rocks out, I just think, oh God, it's not worth the hassle.
Yeah, there's folks like was it Anything Posable and Lawless Studios. They kill those rock settings.
Oh
There's
God,
just no way I can touch that. So why am I going
no,
to try?
no. I mean, again, I'm confident that I could, but the time required to do it, I mean, again, it's back to like the commission work where if I'm dedicating myself to do one, and it's going to take that long, then you're charging a lot of money, And I think that was
Right.
what a lot of the appeal I think was with my stuff was. In the end, it was cheaper to get one from me in the UK than it would be to get one from another American guy. So I think that's why predominantly most of my dioramas go to the US because it works out cheaper because I don't do commissions. So naturally you charge you're not a fortune, but you're inclined to charge more for your work as a commission, aren't you? So and I never really like that. I don't even now if someone asks me to make one I've done a million times, I still get stressed and I don't enjoy it if I know if I'm just flowing and I'm building one. I'm not asked if it stays in my garage for 10 months. I
Right.
just enjoy doing it at the time. But if I'm doing it for someone, I feel there's tremendous pressure on myself then, and that's when I start thinking, oh, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. No, the pressure can be tough, and I've experienced that and thought about not doing commissions anymore. But like, so this current build, they came at me and said, "Hey, I want to give you whatever time you want. You do what you want. This is a rough idea of what I want. You design it, make it how you want it." So basically, they're paying me to do a dream diorama in a large scale, and
Yeah,
that's awesome to me. That's a great
yeah,
commission to take on. They don't really have a lot of input. They have some, but not a whole lot. So that's awesome. But yeah, commissions can be stressful, especially like deadlines and stuff like that.
yeah.
It can be rough.
I think I'd
But
like to get back into it more though, but not commissions, but more like when I see the Oilers Workshop stuff. His work seems to me like it's a passion project for him. And I miss that. I get envious that he's doing that, and whether he's doing it for the people or not, he always seems to be like he's doing it for himself, and he doesn't care how long he takes, and and I think that's eventually where I want to be back at, where I mean, I did a medieval tavern. I saw someone did one last week at a medieval tavern. I think it was on Diostructure, and I thought, wow, I did one of them about 4 years ago, you know. And I took ages, and I didn't make it for anyone. I just made it for myself, you know, for me berserk figures and things like that. And I thought, God, I enjoyed that, and I really, you know, I attacked it in stages. So I'd work at it, I'd leave it for a week, and then I might go back at it. So ideally, that's what I want to get back to doing.
Timelines. These guys are talking about, they don't know what timelines are. Yeah. So one thing that we moved away from pretty quick, and I didn't mean to, but I did it. It was going back to like some of the tools that you use, and some of them and other stuff that may be different from, you know, the American, you know, tool set. So you open to talk about some of those things?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine we're not far off the same. I use, it's like a little, I mean, I've never used an airbrush. I've got one, and I've never, my brother bought me one. It's still in the packet. I've never ever used it because I just thought I can't be asked plugging something in, mixing paints, cleaning it out every time I use it. So I use these like quite hard bristle brushes when I'm doing, and it is a pain when I'm doing a big area, the same colour, but whatever I do, whatever the motion is with my hand when I do it, that's what seems to give me the results for concrete and stuff. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I use cheap acrylic paints, or I use emulsion. I do very little paint mixing. I've no patience or time for that whatsoever. So I just use my set colours. Like I say, I'm probably not very. I probably don't do things the way a lot of people do them, but I use the same tools, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, I use my glue gun. I don't use any like. That tends to be all I use, like a warm. When I'm gluing them together, the bits of the foam, I just use a warm glue gun. Material wise, again, it'll just be this thin foam, and then I have like, I don't know if you can see that strip there. That's like a really, it's cardboard, and this is what I got told by Louise Town, and I can't remember what it's called. I get it off eBay, but my God, it takes some cutting with a knife to the point where I've nearly took my fingers off a few times when it's gone off the metal ruler. And
no!
Now about it, I've been to hospital twice. Nearly took my fingers off. You know,
God!
Oh God, it knocks me sick thinking about it. But so yeah, and then I see, you know, again with the sealing, I'm not that crazy with sealing things either. If let's say I'm doing the subway, which you've probably seen that one, my method for that would be I'd score the lines in, then I'll base coat it. I'll flip between a black base coat. Now, again, I don't do like a wash either. I'll do a thick, slapped on black base coat of emulsion. If I'm doing a lighter colour, I'll use a grey emulsion. And then I'll add my colour, and then I'll seal it with the Mod Podge. So if I want to use, see that diorama there you've got on now? Is that the one? Is that the one with the red garage door at the bottom? Yeah. So them walls there are like it's supposed to be like a larger tile. So when I'm doing like a tile wall, I'll seal it with the gloss Mod Podge, and then if I'm doing a brick, I'll use the matte Mod Podge, and then obviously I'll grout over the top. And again, I'm not that precious with the grouting. I watch how people do it, and they're painstakingly putting the grout on and wiping it off. Bollocks! Why whack that grout all over it? But the other tip I give people is, and I see this a lot with builders, is when they're doing the bricks, some people use a rock, you know, to get the sort of roughness. Mm-hmm. I'll roll up foil and I'll roll it over, you know, just to make the bricks look a bit more knackered. But if you do that first and then you and then you grout, all the grout gets in, so it doesn't look like a natural. You wouldn't go out and see a building with bricks with grout inside the brick, would you?
Right.
So what
no.
I'll slap the grout all over it, scrape it off, then I'll give it a wet down, the whole thing, and then I'll dry it off. And that gives me and then if I want to make it indents, then I'll go over it so that the grout's not in unnatural places. Whether that's wrong, I don't know, but I just feel that seems more realistic to me how I do it. But
the end product, it looks great. Like from this, you can easily see the grout, and it looks clean. You don't have grout in your bricks or your tiles there. It looks really good.
Yeah, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not precious with it. I see some people and they put it on and they wipe a bit off, and I think, get it on and get it off. You know, I don't know why they faff about with it. It all wipes off anyway. If you've sealed it with Mod Podge, you know what I mean? It just comes off.
Right. Yeah.
But I just work quick. That's what I do. I have a set thing in my head, and I attack them. You know, like them 2 dioramas you show it. Any of them, I could do it. I could do in a few hours. I could have it built in an hour. I'd have it built and magnetised within an hour, no problem. Then I'll attack the door and the windows. Once it's all built, I'll magnetise it. I'll have all that done easily within an hour. Then I'll base coat it. While that's drying, I'll move on to the props. Some are ready made, some I need to build. So I'll have another hour or 2 while that's drying to sort all the props out. Then, by the time I've done all the props, I can add the colour. Once I add the colour, look at it. They're all, you're never using many colours. If you're doing a street diorama, you've got your brick colour, you've got your greys, that's pretty much it.
Right.
I'll have that done within an hour, and then boom, I'll go to the weathering, and that's it. See, that's a popular one. That one there with the shutter doors, yeah. That's a pain to do, that one, because there's a lot of brickwork in it, and it's all free. You know, once you've scored
all freehand, yeah.
Oh God, what I'll do is though, when I've scored the horizontal lines, I'll measure out. Sometimes I'll do them 2 centimetre bricks. Sometimes they'll be 2.5. So when I've done them all, I'll use a ruler to go up. So I'll do brick, misalign, and I'll do that all the way across, and then I'll go back freehand and do the gaps. You know, so it's quite painstaking. But that's when I'll just stick some music on, and you can just switch off doing that. You know, so
right.
That's how I tend to. People often say I can be working on 2 or 3 at a time, you know, because I have this methodic approach to it. I'm not saying I'm the only person that has a methodic approach to doing them, but I think because I've got a massive catalogue of my own stuff to draw back from. I've done them that many times. It allows me to be that much faster, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I noticed a few things on the wall. Sorry to just interrupt you, but like, so these wall details here. Can you see?
They're just little bits I'll pick up from, as you call it, the hardware store, things like that. I don't know what they are. I don't know what before, but they cost me £1, which is probably like $1.30, and I'll buy them by the pack full. And when I've sanded them a bit and sprayed them black and then painted them silver or whatever, and I'll rust them up. It just looks industrial, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And what about your little signs here? You printing those out, or?
I'll just print them out. I'll print them out on a colour printer. I'll mount them onto, depending if it's the subway diorama and it's like a poster or some signage, you know, like the big subway map. I'll mount that onto a thicker card. Things like the signs, I'll just put them on really thin card. I'm just trying to lean forward so I can see what's that. Yeah, they're just like little electric boxes. The trash can, they'll be like. They have like goo, you know, like goo that you can make. Mm-hmm. So I'll buy them, buy the raft full when I see them. Same with the barrels, the little ones next to it. They just have bubbles, you know, like blowing bubbles for kids.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
and you got them painted all up. Okay.
Yeah, just the barrels are them like is it toxic waste? Them little shitty sweets. I just no. Yeah, so it's all. Unless it's like the gas canisters, I get them off at AliExpress from China, and the fire extinguishers, they're just pencil sharpeners, you know. So I'll just sand them down. Some people will dedicate a lot of time to the props, you know. I don't have a big stock. I won't do a prop unless it's forward diorama. People ask me all the time, "Oh, do you just do the props?" And I go, "No, I only do them." And I think again, one of the appeals of mine is. Some guys will charge you an arm and a leg just for props. I throw all that shit in with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so I didn't realize that. You get all this stuff in this diorama. So everything you see here went with the diorama?
If you ever see one of mine on Instagram, everything you get in it by the figure is what you get with it. Yeah. I don't mess about with like, sometimes if it's the apartment, one of the apartment dioramas that I do, and I've had to buy the the couch, the couches, the sofa, things like that. I might have to charge a bit more, or I'll give the option to have it with it or without it. Same with the little BMXs and things, you know. So like the subway, you know, I can. So the bench, I'll usually just make that as I'm doing it. Same with the trash can. and the little electric box.
I mean, honestly, if you didn't know any better, you would think this was a real picture. Like this is awesome. The LED lighting, everything just looks so
The only
in
problem
scale.
it annoys me is that I'm restricted to the size because I can't. If I'm sending within the UK, I can go a bit Hollywood with the size. I can, like that Subway one. I used to do it where it had stairs going up and it was like double the length, you know. But I can't ship it. You know, I have to get them in a certain box because where I work at the prison, the prisoners get these cakes. They get given cakes with the meal, and I take the boxes that they come in, and that's what I use to send to the US all the time. So it's like most of my dioramas, when it's like a side-on one, are limited to like 18 inches wide, 14 inches deep, and 14 inches high. You know, unless you do, and so when you see my tunnel dioramas, they'll usually be two 17-inch sections that magnetize together, you know, to get the depth. But that's just come from seeing that film, Old Boy. You know, remember have you seen Old Boy, the original, where he has that fight scene in the corridor?
I don't know that I've seen it. I'll have to go back and check it out. But
where he has the hammer and he's just going, it's like a side on. He's basically going down a corridor and it's filmed side on, and so you're looking through the wall and he's knocking fuck out of people with hammers. That's what made me start building the tunnel ones with that in mind. So I thought, how good would it be if you had, I don't know, Daredevil, and he's knocking the shit out of 5 or 6 bad guys, and you can sort of recreate that in a, you know, using my diorama. That's why you see a lot of mine focus on the depth, you know.
Yeah.
I do like that. I like the disused warehouse ones as well because they're always good for the Punisher or little fight scenes that people do, you know.
I was trying to find one of your tunnel ones. If I pass it, let me know.
That many. So there's one there with the yellow door at the end. That's one. Oh, look, the one underneath. Yeah, and then the one underneath that next to me, lad. Oh God, what a bastard that was. I love that one, but it was so hard to do. I had COVID while I did that. I was half dead. That was before I succumbed to COVID. That one, yeah. But the roof was a pain because it was like it was slanted down. I had a nightmare cutting the foam at an angle, you know, to get.
Oh yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, okay.
It was a pain in the ass, but I thought it came out good. I'll never do it again, but I thought it came out well. That one.
Yeah, it looks good.
I mean, I don't know if it says. Does it say how big it is?
34 inches long, 13 inches wide.
So 34 inches deep, you know, front to back. It's pretty big, really.
Yeah. No, that's
two. Yeah.
What about your lighting here? Is this in the dio, or are you backlighting it?
No, so I'll never ever. I see people connecting with the, you know, I don't do any welding or anything like that again because it would bump up cost. You know, you can't just sit there in 2 minutes and wire up a diorama. I can't anyway. So I use the balloon LEDs. So I'll just I'll make me little light fitting out of the foam, and then I'll cut the hole out of the roof, and then I'll use like wax paper, and then I'll put like some clear perspex over it, and then the lights just sit on top, nice and easy, twist on, twist off. So you can knock. So if there's 3, I think there's 3 light fittings on that, or 4. If you want to get dimmer lighting, you just knock one of the lights off, just switch one off, you know.
Yeah.
Or brighten it up, and literally, all I do is when I finished it, I'll take the photograph in a dark room. You know, that I don't use any effects or anything like that. I just use my iPhone 7 or whatever it is, and I just take the picture, and that's the results you can get with minimal effort with mine. So I love that one. Yeah, but I'll definitely never do it again. Yeah. See the depth of that one.
Yeah, what figure is that?
Oh, that's that. Is it? Oh God, it was what they called. The figure was called James. It's obviously Wolverine.
Yeah. It's okay. I know what figure it is. Yeah, so it's Okay.
Nota Toys, is it, or something?
Yeah. It's a good looking figure.
Oh, that is one of the best figures I've ever had my hands on. Yeah, it's a cracker. That. Another one that I had for about a week and then got rid of it.
Oh.
Typical. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, look at that. You can see the slanted roof.
Yeah, so I like the one. What I do with the tunnel ones is I always make them so you can just knock a side wall out, you know, so you can display it or photograph it from either side, really. Yeah. Oh, that was just me pissing about on Instagram, I think that. Like little teasers. Oh yeah, that was big. That would be like, I think that was 2 that would fit in a D12. You know, like if you split them up.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that might be one that I'd seen on Instagram, that one, and I did my take on it. I managed to get some of the good like mezzanine flooring, you know, the metal flooring. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
it.
yeah, I see it there.
That is. I mean, I've never printed it. I don't have a 3D printer, and sometimes I'll get guys to do me a few little bits, but that stuff comes from a place called Green Stuff World. I think it's a Spanish company, but good God, it's expensive for an A4 sheet.
Yeah.
But it gives you, you know, now I'll just use the card sprayed silver, but that stuff's fantastic, but it's just it costs a lot of money to, you know, and you don't get much out of it, you know, if it's an A4 sheet.
Right, because that's for like HO scale, right? Or is it actually 1/12 scale?
I don't. Yeah, it's not meant for 1/12 scale, but you can get away with it.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
Yeah, it doesn't look too out of place.
I see you got. Is that 3D printed? Your little water. What is it? Fire hydrant?
Yeah, that one was. Yeah, that I'd got a few bits off someone, and that was what he gave me 2 of them. Yeah.
That looks good.
So that's the other type of lighting that I'll use. You know, the mini desk lamps.
Yeah.
Now over here, they're a nightmare. I mean, I know my sister said they have them in. Is it you have a dollar store or something over there?
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get them over there. Over here, we have like the pound shop, which is the equivalent. And sometimes you'll strike gold. I'll find them, and there'll be a peg full of them for like 69 pence, which is like less than $1, or you know, just under $1.
Right.
And I can take a lot of them, you know, because once they're gone,
they're gone.
You can't find. They're like £5 each, or $4. The cheapest I can find them from a UK seller is like £3.50.
Wow.
Which bumps up your costs, and other than you've got to order them from China and wait fucking 25 years for them to arrive, you know.
Yeah. No, I've never seen them in any of the dollar stores, and I went in. They're always gone.
They get snapped up, but yeah. I do like using them for that sort of diorama, but they're not much good for anything else. See, I'll use the balloon LEDs a lot of the time. They give a nice, you know, you can get the bright white, you can get the warm white, you can get red, you can get green. I'm doing one at the minute where part of it will have a red one in, you know, just to give a weird little bit of lighting behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're just nice and easy to, and they only take 3 little tiny batteries, so you can always swap them out when they run out. So I mean they're ones I've done a million times, you know. Oh, there's my mum. Oh, this one went to a French guy. Yeah, he's done some great pictures with this. This was based on like obviously a lot smaller version. It was like a stadium, you know, almost like a stadium walkway, you know, on the outside of a stadium.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I'd seen the image, it was obviously a lot wider and stuff. But I just sort of shrunk it down, and again, it just looks like it'd be a generic walkway, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
all the details are amazing. The little stickers on the wall, the graffiti, the little signs, trash, just and the lighting is just.
Yeah, I put a bit more effort into the graffiti these days. I used to just do a bit of a fucking squiggle, but now I'll really take time, and I'll search it on Instagram, and I'll go on Google, and I'll use forever. I've got a box full of it, you know, the acrylic marker pens, and they're not cheap, and they run out really fast, but I don't think there's anything better to do. I mean, I don't like if you cut stuff out and stick it on as graffiti. I think it looks shit, but I'd rather just do it myself by hand. It's painstaking, but so I mean that's not the best on there. But some of the graffiti I've done will be really intricate, and then I'll just put flies and shit over it. So I think to myself, why have I just sat there for an hour doing that? Putting loads of effort into graffiti, and then I've just covered it in flyers and posters, you know. But in real life, you wouldn't, you know, you would see that in real life, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, like you wouldn't know that it's not real. So I'm gonna hit some of these chats. I've been ignoring these guys, but everybody's commenting on your lighting. They love it. What's up, Adam Gonzalez? Yeah, fire emoji. Yeah, jaw drops. Everybody's loving this stuff. Um,
Because I'm good. I'm just too good.
do you have any dioramas for sale currently?
I think I've got 3, yeah, and I'm insulted that I've had them that long.
Which ones are they on here?
I think is the top. Look at my bald head. I think is there not 3 on that top post? I don't know. Does it?
Okay, yeah, there is. All right, so these 3. All right, guys, if you guys love it that much, here are 3 dioramas that should be sold before we're gone for tonight. So,
and if you don't, I'll find you.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna buy one of these before we get off tonight. I'm gonna buy one of these. I want one from you. And look at that, 160 US shipped. I mean, that you can't, guys. These prices you can't beat. Look at this. How long is this guy, Lee?
That one's 17 or 18 deep. That one, I think. Yeah.
So you can get some depth for your photos with this one.
Yeah.
You got an interior one here.
That's the same. That's about 18 deep. Yeah. It's got the 2 windows on the. Oh no, I think that's got another wall as well. That's got so you can have that one side on, and it'll have. So you're looking, the way you're looking down at it there now. You could look from the other direction. I've got an extra wall to put on the bottom. It's basically it's got 4 wall pieces, that one, and that one's got like a shutter to the, like a big wooden door to the left, which you can pop in and out. Yeah, nice. I don't think I've ever done that one before. That's a bit of a change on the normal green and white one that I do. But yeah, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't lose much sleep over them. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'll put them on. Certain ones I'll put them on, and I could get rid of it 25 times in a day. I get asked that many times for it. Others, so I just don't. When I've done them, I just leave them on there. And they go. I'd rather them being used though than in my garage. That's what I'm like.
Yeah. So, like you were saying before, these props, it's not just a diorama, guys. These props go with it too. So, take a look. His prices are amazing, especially coming from the UK. So, awesome. Well, thanks for letting us dive into your Instagram, guys. Make sure you go follow Diorama Boy on Instagram. He's got some great stuff. If you guys watch This Week in Dioramas, you're going to see his stuff quite often. So go check it out. So what's going on in the future, Lee? I'm gonna stop sharing here.
Yeah, I'm just at the minute, like I was saying to the other night, I'm just getting ready to have to plug this iPad in before it runs out. But I think if in terms of my dioramas now, I don't think I'm going to do any more new designs. I think I'm winding down, and I've got a bit of a target in my head of December this year that I might just stop. Now, whether I stop and that I stop for good, or I feel it takes up too much time. I work long hours at the prison, so when I get home, if I haven't got the kids, I'll be straight into doing a diorama. And I think at 41 now, I'm not in the best shape I've ever been in. I'd rather take a bit of time that when I get home from work, I might go and do some weights, or I'll go for a walk, or I just feel like changing it up a bit. So I think I'm going to carry on as I have been, but I used to spend ages. I'd be in work doodling, thinking of new designs, and I think I've got. Like you say, you could go back forever through my Instagram. There must be at least 30 odd different designs of dioramas for me to go through. So I think between now and December, some of them, it might be the last that they're ever done. Like that corridor one with the shutter at the bottom, the red one. I probably won't do that one again. The subway, there might be a couple more of that made, and then that's it. So. Yeah, so between now and December, what you see will probably be the last for the foreseeable. So and then that's when, like I was saying before about the Oilers Workshop stuff, from December, it might just be a case of, I start one and it takes me 2 months. I'm just not going to be churning them out like I have been.
Right. Well, you hear that here, guys. If you want those dioramas, those styles, you got till December to get your hands on one.
It's like a Picasso. It's like having a Diorama Boy dio. It's like having a Picasso. If you haven't got a Diorama Boy diorama and you're doing photographs, you're only playing at it. You know what I mean?
You heard it here, guys.
You're running with the big boys when you're in ACBA and you're using my dioramas. You know what I mean? it's half the battle's done for you because of that realistic. You know, so I'm just bigging myself up here. Because I'm thinking all day. That's all it is.
Well, I'm definitely going to take one of the three. No one better call that first one. I don't know what we're calling that first one. Is this the garage? Yeah, I'm getting that guy. But looks like a few people are interested in those. So that's awesome. So after December, you're going to start doing something a little different. You're going to change up how you're building, kind of not really your style, but just doing a little, just more attention, or what we think?
Yeah, I think I think I'll just start working on something that I've not done before, but maybe it'll be a bit like I did that when I did that tavern, the medieval tavern. Perhaps I'll do something bigger, you know, that takes me a lot longer to do. So, saying I'm humble, I'm only joking.
The DMC. Speaking of, you know, he won last season. He won the Quad Flame Awards. Quad Flame Awards for like the best show that season. I'm gonna do that again this year. So Lee, you may be a contender for best in show for season 2.
Is it 2:00 in the morning?
Hey, it's all about the artist, man. I'm having a good time. So that's cool. So a little bit coming in December, going to be changing. So guys, you know, if you want one of these dioramas, he's got 3 now. Well, no, he's got 2 left, and me and Mario is fighting. I guess maybe just 1. We'll see. But that's awesome. So there's also I put a poll out for some questions from Instagram. We're about an hour in, so let's start dropping some of these questions. So we put a poll out.
I'm still here. Sorry, I'm just going to plug it in.
Oh, no worries.
Right, I'm back. Hang on. Let's have a look. We're powered up. We're in. We're back in.
There we go.
Yeah,
Plugged in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions from Instagram. And we'll run through some questions from the audience as well when we get into it. But we'll start with these Instagram ones first. So this came from Mike Power Atomic Man, and I misspelled you. But do you think dioramas will incorporate more green screen / CGI soon?
Yeah, I suppose it could do. If a lot of the time, if some people do the alleyway ones and then they'll print out an image for the background, won't they? You know, with a cityscape or something. So I don't know. I don't know if you. I think it's more something you just do yourself, isn't it? That as opposed to people who are actually building the dioramas.
Yeah, I would see. I mean, I've seen some people do like the cutouts with dioramas, maybe like down an alley or something like that. Green screens would be interesting, but then again, like you said, that would be more on someone that's bought the diorama and doing photography, not really a diorama artist.
Yeah, unless you were building them on a lot larger scale, you know, for like movie sets and
movies.
Stuff. But,
that's a dream for me right there.
Yeah, I got asked about that. Enough, yeah. Someone asked me about that. Did I fancy going doing it down south in London? But I don't like the south, so no, I don't want to do that. But plus, I think like, how could I go from building 1/12 scale to stuff that's going to be fucking huge? You know what I mean? I work with bits of foam. I couldn't do anything else. Yeah.
All depends on those pounds or euros, man. Right?
Well, yeah.
All right. This next one comes from Mike as well. Favorite snacks you can eat while you're painting?
Good God, there's so many. Jesus,
do you wear gloves while you paint?
No.
I don't either.
My hands are always covered in shit now. I should wear a mask as well. I can hardly breathe, me. I think it's because of that. But what snacks do I eat? I don't really eat while I'm painting, but if I was to, it would just be like crisps, you know, or potato chips you call them, don't you? We call them crisps over here. Yeah, it'd be crisps. But my favorite, I love Cheetos. You have Cheetos over there, don't you?
Oh yeah, dude. My son loves some Cheetos, so we keep the house. The fluffy Cheetos.
Oh, I like them crunchy ones. I could sit and get fucking Cheeto dust all over me. Don't bother me. I love that.
Yeah, we have the jalapeno flavored ones. I don't know if you've seen those over there, but man, those.
Yeah, I had some because sometimes we have shops that import American food over and stuff, but I've never fancied them ones. No, my sister sends me some good shit over though. From LA, she sends like me little supplies of milk duds. I love them.
Go.
I mean, I'll tell you what, my all-time. Oh, go on then. While I've got some, I love Tootsie Rolls. So
Oh yeah.
My favourite snack, yeah, because they're like in the fridge near where I work. So I'll just dip in and get a mini Tootsie Roll. I love them.
All right. The next one comes from Star Marvel. What is your lighting camera setup for your dark alleyways? I think you talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure Star Marvel rings a bell. As though they've got one of my dioramas. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have. And yeah, like I say, there is no setup. I mean, I've got a friend who's a professional photographer, and I often think like I'd love to get him round, but by the time I've built one, 5 minutes later, that thing's fucking collapsed and away and gone, and I've moved on. So they're not up long enough for me to contemplate. I'll just get my phone out, boom, 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 take my pictures. I'll do my picture straight on. I'll do my side on picture. You know, sometimes I'll do one. It's because it's light nights at the minute, isn't it? So it doesn't go dark till late on. So a lot of them, I like to take the picture in the dark. So I'll build the diorama. It'll be finished at like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll just leave it until it's really dark at night, and then I can use the lights. You know, some of them are that deep. It doesn't matter how light it is in the room because they're that fucking deep. You can just stick the lights on and they work. You know. Yeah. So again, I feel like I should be given some magical answer, but I don't do anything. I just use the lights that you get with the diorama. Simple as that. Yeah.
There you go. So dark room and using the lights in the diorama.
Yeah.
And then the phone, you're shooting from your iPhone 7, right?
Yeah, I've only ever used my iPhone. I've never used a camera on them. No, that's why I enjoy it when they get to like that. We mentioned before, Ian Hughes and a guy French Toy Love. He does some great stuff, and yeah, just when I see them, they just blow my head off when I see what they do with them, and they are using proper cameras, you know.
Right.
What's that? Do you have in your possession or a pic of your first diorama you can show us? I don't think I have, you know. I don't even think it's on my Instagram, but I think I told you last night, didn't I? It was you know, when you get a fish tank and you get that rocky sort of foam. So it was that, and it was a piece of wood, and I just put some, you know, the fake grass you can get, like you'd see it, you know, like a driving range, that sort of artificial grass.
Yeah.
And to represent water, I got these little blue, like, stones, you know, like gemstone things, and I had them as a stream, and it was literally, that was it. It was for the 4 Dragon Quest figures that I had, just for my own entertainment, really. And it was like, and it was shit, but it was a start, you know. That was the first one. If I find a picture of it, which I must have on my phone somewhere, I'll post it on my Instagram tomorrow. Yeah, or today,
Okay.
as it is now. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's today. It's today for you, right?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting question. A segue, a side question. So, do you display any of your figures, and do you use any of your dioramas for that?
No, I've never. The only one I have in my possession is one that I've done, and I think it's on my Instagram, and it's for me because my eldest Noah has got a massive Black Series collection, and I say it's we both enjoy. You know, we both love Star Wars, and he's got a massive Black Series collection, and he has his all displayed, and you know, the enjoyment we have together is when he gets a new one, we rearrange, so we'll have our Rebel shelf, then we'll go with this, you know, the bad guy, the Sith, and the Jedi shelf, rearrange all the troopers and that. But I did make him a diorama. It is on my Instagram. You'll see it. It's got like lightsaber effects on it. It was a really moody one that we did for because he's got all the Mandalorian figures. So that's pretty much the only one that I have in the house that I've never got rid of. But I did, like I say, I did have my man cave, and I had stuff displayed. I had the D12 cabinet that had like me Akira bike, you know, all that stuff in it. I've still got that, but I don't. So no, nothing on display. No, I would like to again because the kids enjoy it with me. You know, It's always been like, it's like a dirty secret hobby because you know, you're supposed to be a roughy tufty prison officer, you know, but then I spoke to someone before, and it'd be funny because I'd be at work and I'm working with all these big fucking guys, you know what I mean? And then my mates from the same city where my mum and dad from, Liverpool, you know, so the tough people in Liverpool, and he'd slide up to me and go, have you seen this new Punisher figure? And I'd be like, oh, what do you know about stuff? And it turns, he's into Marvel, and I was like, oh, what's this our little dirty secret here that, so it's not, I don't know, it's just not like, I've always been your traditional, like, blokey bloke. I like my sports, I like my film, my music, but, I don't think there's anything wrong in having varied hobbies,
Yeah.
especially if you can do something creative like that, the joy I get when I see someone, when they message me and they say that, I'll send it to America, it'll take 3 weeks to get there, and they've ripped that fucking box open and they message me and go, oh man, I love it, and that's it, that's what I do it for, the enjoyment they get from it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's especially with Marvel being more mainstream. It's not like 20 years ago where you got to be quiet about the nerdist, the nerd in you, right?
But
But
it was the manga, wasn't it? I used to there used to be a channel over here in the UK. I think it was Bravo, and like dead late at night, and I'd find myself watching Space Adventure Cobra, and the first time I saw Akira, things like that, and I'd be like, I'd speak about it and be like, nobody'd have a fucking clue what I was talking about. Nobody else was watching it, But now, every man and his dog, it's quite acceptable to be into that, Star Wars and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. I remember, 20 years ago, I'm in high school. If I talked about this stuff, among my friends, I was a nerd. I wasn't the cool guy anymore.
Yeah.
Not that I was cool, but now, like, it's everything anywhere is Marvel or heroes or
culture, isn't it? Yeah.
So it's cool to see that mainstream. Got a few more questions here. That was Star Marvel, right? Oh, here's one from Vasco Toys. We were talking about them earlier. Your dioramas have incredible realism. In your opinion, what's the key to achieving that realism?
I don't know. It's tough. I don't know, because I see some of the dioramas that I see. I think a lot of it, whether it's down to the colours, I see a lot of the brickwork on some people's, and it just strikes me as cartoony, and it's finding that balance, because essentially you're using a plastic action figure, aren't you? And it is usually based on a cartoon or something, comic-y, like, the Marvel films are all quite comic booky, aren't they? But I don't know, I just seem to find that balance with the grittiness of of how I do it. How I achieve it, I don't know. I don't feel like I do much different. I think it's got to be just the colours and the weathering, maybe. What I use an ink pad to get my weathering, like a walnut stain. Again, that was told to me by that Louise Townend after 5 million questions I asked her. But that's pretty much how I do it. It's hard to explain. How I do it, I don't know, but I made a conscious effort to try and make them look a bit more real, and I still feel that they complement the figures. So, because you do see some dioramas, and they just look a bit bright, a bit bold,
Right.
Whether that's just because they've just not got to that stage in their development where they can weather to a good level. But yeah. Vasco, so he doesn't need any help of anyone. His stuff, he does great dioramas, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He actually is only a few hours from me, so he lives near me.
He doesn't need any help from me. I know that much. His work's really good. The most builds you've done so far. I've done some proper tricky ones. Let me try and think what it was. It'll be one that I've never done again. I know that much. Because if it takes me more than a day to do, I won't do it again. Challenging build you've done so far. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Maybe the medieval tavern that I did, because it had an outside and an inside, and a bloody. I did the roof, with little bits of wooden slats, and that took forever. That I don't know if it's on my Instagram somewhere. It might be way back.
Like years back or like last year?
I reckon so. Yeah, it'd be right at the beginning. I would have thought. That's if it's you'll see it, because it looks like a pub, and it had the horses outside it. But that was a tricky build. That was. I had a spell where I used to do a lot of double-sided dioramas. So that was my little niche. So you can see some of the photographs of the guys do. I don't know if it's going to be on. No, it must be way back if it's on.
Did you pick up this guy? Nosferatu? That was a cool looking figure.
No, but that's the guy I was talking about who takes the great pictures. If you don't follow him, is it MB?
Yeah,
MD,
MDH.
yeah. Oh God, that's Ian Hughes. Yeah, he's got a few of my dioramas, and I mean, look at the quality of his pit. You know.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, I mean, he does some mind blowing photography. I thought it was going to be on there, but it doesn't seem to be there,
That's a
does
cool
it?
little skate park there.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was massive. That it took up like my whole kitchen floor. It didn't really come out how I wanted it to come out. I felt like I should have used a bit more. You know, like the concrete. You know, I was trying to get a bit of a mixture in the colours. Again, I was just doing it from my head. That though, I didn't. It wasn't based on anything. I just one day I thought I'm making a skate park. You know, and they were supposed to be like little I think it was something in LA I'd seen. They were supposed to be like little tennis tables. You know, you see them concrete, maybe
Yeah.
like you'd see in prison or something. You know. And I just tried to squash it all in. That broke into about 1,000,000 pieces. That diorama. It was, yeah, that was a bit of a ball ache to do, but no, I think I'd stick with the Tavern as my hardest one. I don't know if it's going to be on there though. It'll be
You
annoying
took
if
it
we go all the
all.
way down and it's not.
All we have is time to kill. This is cool.
Oh yeah, I've not done that one for a while. Yeah, that was for some Mythic Legion. Fucking, I love Mythic Legions. It was for Mythic Legions that I used to have loads of them as well. Have you had any of them? The Mythic Legions by is it the Four Horsemen?
I don't have any. I have a few on pre-order, but it's been months. They haven't showed up. Might have to cancel.
They did one called the Blood Knight. That was one of the best figures I've ever had my hands on. No, it's not there, is it? I can't believe
We got to go all the way back.
one of my favourite builds. It's not even. See, that was like some of them are the double-sided ones that I was doing, where I was just trying to do it. So, but when you do the double-sided ones, you're pretty limited. So you can't have a door that comes out, or you can't have a window because, you know, if you've ever tried working with the balsa wood to do a double-sided window, it's a bloody nightmare.
Oh yeah, it can be tough. All right. Well, I just wanted to see if that was on there, but we got to go all the way back.
So that would be the challenging build. Yeah, I mean, but that one you showed before that had the roof, Christ, I was so close to just standing on it. I'd had enough. You know, the roof was that fiddly to get the angle on it. I did feel like just kicking it around the kitchen into 1,000,000 pieces, but yeah.
Well, I got one more question for you, and this is kind of a weird. Oh, I didn't put it in here. All right, this is my question. I'm going to ask every artist this season this question. Where did I put it? Hold on. I got it somewhere. Here we go. So, if you could only use one tool, and I think this may be easy for you because you're not using a whole bunch of crazy things, it sounds like. But if you could only use one tool for the rest of your diorama career, what would it be?
One tool. Well, it's got to be the knife. You couldn't do anything without it, could you? The scalpel. There's nothing else.
I guess you're right.
Maybe
I should rethink that question, huh?
You'd have to be damn good at guessing that foam to snap it. I'll tell you what.
Chop it.
I'll tell you what is my most important tool. My ruler.
There you go. Yeah.
Couldn't do it without a ruler.
Straight edges, measuring. Yeah, that's a pretty staple tool, I would say.
I have a little metal one, and then I have a big one that I use. Both of them covered in blood from various accidents, but yeah.
I was gonna make a comment earlier. Blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, for real.
I've had all them. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe next time I'll say three tools instead of just one tool.
Yeah. Oh no, I've smashed a few up I've smashed a few up in a rage. Yeah. And then I use that foam when I'm packing them to send them. That people will go, "What's this extra bit of foam for?" And I'll just go, "Oh, it's just for packing it." And it's probably one that I've smashed up in a rage. That's all it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab one more. So tonight I'm drinking on this.
Your lime and
key lime pie. I've been out for a few minutes. I'm gonna grab one. Just two seconds. It's right here.
Yeah. what's them? Oh, they're good. Them helmets behind you.
Sorry, guys.
Just checking out your helmets there.
Oh yeah, so
They're good, them, aren't they?
yeah, this was the first one I ever did. And you can see something happened mid-build that caused it to shift a little bit. Still not bad though. If you want to do like a rusted up helmet or whatever.
What's it made out of?
PLA. It's like a plastic material.
But how have you done that? Do you have to melt it into its shape or mold it or something?
This is using a 3D printer.
All right.
So let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for folks. For you, really. Let's see.
All right, yeah. Oh,
And then, yeah, it's still. I got one spot right here that was a little weird, but I sanded it down, like sanded it and filled it, and then I like cut this on my. I got a laser, so I cut this screen piece to fit. But yeah, it's 3D printing. Just I've been sanding the shit out of it, so you can't really see lines or anything.
Yeah, it looks really good, that, yeah.
And then it fits.
What color are you going to go for? Are you going for the
fits.
Boba Fett color or what?
So that's cool.
Yeah, it's come out really good, that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm making my nephew one. Oh man, got too much hair. Making my nephew one. I shrunk it down a little bit to like 90% scale. That's 100% scale, just to fit his head a little better. But they're cool. It's fun. It took 3 days to print it. Crazy amount of time. It's always nerve-wracking because if it fails, then you got to start over.
Yeah. I wish I'd got a 3D printer. It would have saved me a lot of trouble, but I think in the end I'd only use it for like barrels and shit like that,
Yeah, for the diorama stuff, I make my own windows and like little doorknobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they've come down in price. Like the Ender 3, which I have 2 of, you can get for like US dollars on sale for like $150.
Well, that's cheap.
Which isn't bad. No, it's not bad at all. And then it's $20 a roll of PLA. You can probably honestly print like 50 or 60 windows on a roll.
I'm that like old now. I don't think I could comprehend how you'd even do the software. I just couldn't do it. Again, I'd end up buying one and then I'd try and print something, it'd go wrong, and I'd be like, fucking using that again. So
yeah, it can be frustrating.
Cool.
I'll tell you what I do though. When I send some of that foam, I'll send you some windows if you want, just so you have them.
Yeah, I'd like to see how they come out. Yeah. I'll tell you what I always wanted: little buddy spray cans.
Oh,
Have you ever done these spray cans? They'd be sick.
I've not done them, but I've got a few.
When the Mezco released that Vapor figure, did you see the latest, the little graffiti artist guy?
Mm-hmm.
I did quite a few dioramas that were plastered in graffiti solely for that figure. And I thought it would have been great to have a few little spray cans dotted about, but I never got around to getting anyone. 3D printers. I say a lot of people are getting them now, aren't they?
They've come down in price so much that, they're somewhat affordable. They're not like, completely unattainable.
Have you ever seen the guy in the UK who does them? Is it Mighty Kane or Mighty Matlock? Have you ever seen his 3D dioramas that he does? I think he's the most recent one is like a space corridor. So he does them, and
completely 3D printed.
Yeah, and you can just buy it in sections and stuff. Yeah, but he weathers them up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrible with names. I think it's Mighty Kane or.
I feel like I know that name. I think
his name's Luke Matlock. I'm terrible again. I'm shocking with names, me. Oh, Vasco Toys. Yeah, I'm a fan of his stuff. I'm sure he had something up last week or the week before, didn't he? Vasco. I'm sure he'd done a new one. Was it like another alleyway type that was really good? I'd seen.
I know I saw he had like a corner building. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, it was that was brilliant, that one. Yeah.
I made a diorama for an Iron Man mask. Oh, that's cool. You flip it up and the street scene's inside.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Yeah. That's like one of them little That's like them ones you're on about before, like the bookshelf things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the little Harry Potter things, it's like that sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, they're inventive then. So, I tell you what, you never make. You never see many Funko Pop dioramas, do you? I hate Funko Pops, but I don't like
No,
them. But
that's interesting though. You
not many
don't.
people make because they keep them in the bloody boxes. That's why.
That's true.
So yeah. Well, there you go. No one's ever asked me to make one.
Yeah, most of everything I worked on has been 1/12 scale. I think I have like a Hot Wheels diorama I've been asked for that I've been working on.
Yeah.
But it's typically I did my first 1/18 scale door not too long ago, but
Yeah.
most of it's 1/12 scale.
I've never done 1/6. I've done loads of 1/18 and obviously 1/12, but I've never done anything in 1/6. No one's ever. I think I have been asked, but I've always said, "Oh, no."
That seems like it'd be huge.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, again, I think because when they want them in that, it's usually just for one Hot Toys figure, so it's usually a snapshot of a diorama in it. Whereas a bit of wall and a door, with a lamp
Right.
over thing. It's not really my bag. That I'd rather do a fucking big one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm probably going to do once I've got to December and I sort of go into like semi diorama retirement. Is I'm going to take a bit of time to plan me masterpiece. You know what I mean? I'm not going to rush into it. I have got one in my mind that I've never seen anyone else do, and it's not particularly out of a film, and I don't know why I want to do it, but it's just something that's always niggled at, and I've doodled it a few times on how I can do it, and I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to fucking do it, and I'm going to make it massive as well.
There you
And
go.
if no one wants it, I'm not bothered. I'd fucking sell it for $10. You know what I mean? I'm dying to do it just to see if I can.
Right. Oh, that'd be awesome. Can't wait to see.
So if between now and then, if someone else makes it, I'll be crushed.
You know what's the problem is though? Is like it seems like these days there's no original idea anymore. It seems like everything's been done. But
It has, yeah. I mean, I do like sometimes when you watch like This Week in Dioramas and someone will do something for like, you see like the Mezco Popeye that came out and somebody makes something specifically for that. They're good, but yeah, everything just tends to be your generic stuff. That's why I just sort of try to veer away and do my own thing. People weren't doing. People did do warehouse dioramas, but it was the exact same one every time. It was a fucking metal door one side. It was the well, I think you. How did I ask them? They were doing like the warehouse windows. I think they use in America the filters. Is it from a reptile tank or a fish tank? People use that filter, to make the little windows.
oh right, yeah.
But we don't have them here. They cost, they're expensive in America, so they're even worse here.
Yeah.
So I used to see the warehouse dioramas in America, and every single one of them looked the same. They'd have a couple of iron girders across the roof, and again, nothing wrong with them. I'm not saying they're bad, but that was your generic. And that's so I thought, nah, I'm going to do something a bit different with my warehouse dioramas, and I'm confident that the ones I'd done hadn't been done before. Same with the corridors. I never really saw anyone. I mean, I did one corridor that was so long and it had stairs at the end going up, and I think that was a French guy that bought that. But I've never seen anyone. I hadn't seen anyone do that. The subways people were doing. There's nothing new about the subway. There's nothing new about a loading bay with shutters on. Everybody does them. But yeah, I try and do the odd little one that no one else has done. But
I still think though, even though that they've been done, like if you look at yours compared to theirs, like yours is definitely recognizable. You've developed your own style that stands out among others.
Yeah, I didn't consciously do that, but it only became apparent after so many people kept saying it. And after a while, people would be saying it's instantly recognizable as one of your dioramas. Like when I'm watching This Week in Dioramas, people like they knew it was mine, but then like I said the other night, sometimes I'd be on it twice in the same week. But yeah, they are recognized. I don't know. Again, I didn't go out of my way to do it like that, but yeah. I've just stuck with it, really.
So one thing that is maybe an interesting question that I haven't asked yet is, so when you develop your dioramas, are they for photography, or what are you thinking, like as far as like the end goal? Is it for displaying figures, photography, or there's no intention?
No. It's when I first started doing them, it was for display. I because I didn't really pay much attention to the ACBA stuff. But so when I built them, I had them with display in mind. That's why I did a lot more D12 size ones. Then is that what you call them? The D12, the IKEA cabinets.
Yeah, D12.
Yeah. So and then it was only again I think when I started looking at the ACBA stuff, which I'd had a dabble at myself, but I was shit, so I stopped doing it. It was then that I thought, you know what, I'm going to start aiming here towards the photography side of things because, if you can get a diorama that looks good on display, but at the same time you can get some use out of it as well. So I probably lean more towards the photography side of things these days. Yeah.
So I kind of thought that because based on you have a lot of depth in yours and the realism, like I mean, you're hitting home with a lot of those photographers and what they want to achieve. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I'll see mine mashed up with other people's as well. Though a lot of the people that have mine, when I look through Instagram, I mean, I don't know how many. I don't consciously add loads of people, but when I'm flicking through Instagram, I'll go, oh, that's one of mine. And when I look at I'll see the picture that they've used the figure, so I'll delve in. I'll have a look at the other pictures, and when they show you the background of how they've set it up, some of the diorama will be a section of mine, and then there'll be another section of someone else's. So I like to think that some of when I do individual walls, I like to think that every bit of one of mine is interesting and can be used with something else. So you might have, I don't know, you might have a brick wall of mine that looks good with something else, So it is photography in mind, really.
So do you have anybody specifically like that you like a favorite artist or someone you look to quite often to get inspiration from on Instagram, like other art diorama artists?
I really liked it. I mean, your obvious choices are the Oilers Workshop, just for the sheer realism of his stuff and the scale. But my personal favourite has always been Sage Dog. I just love the look of his stuff. Is it Joshua Green? Is it
Joshua Green? Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to get his name wrong. I'm not, but yeah, I love his work. He's just got now to me, I could spot one of his a mile off. I'll know instantly that something is one of his because I think he's got a really distinctive, and he pisses me off because he's got a really good technique of crackling paint. And I asked him once, and he was like, "Oh, it's my little secret." And I was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't tell anyone either because he's got this fantastic way he does the." And I've got all the shit to do it. I've got all the stuff that I need to do it, but the only thing I haven't got is the patience to and I've watched loads of YouTube tutorials on how to do it, and I've not attempted it yet, so I'm coming for you, Green. I'm gonna do it.
Hopefully he's watching or catches it later. Yeah, he's awesome. He's actually, location wise, he's within just a few hours of me as well. He's one of those what we call East Coasters.
Yeah, I like
so
El Chombo makes that.
El Chombo, yeah.
Another big hitter. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone you listed for this season, I was like, wow, there's some real big hitters there. In the UK, there's not that many of us. Not that I speak to anyway. It's like whether we all fell out or what, I don't know. There's like a couple of different camps, you see. For various reasons we don't get along, some of us. So. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Dio beef.
Yeah, there was a bit of Dio. Well, we did actually have a really big action figure group beef years ago that was quite entertaining. We had like a main action figure group in I don't know. Are you on Facebook much with the figure groups? In America, you have like action figure junkies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But over here, we had like action figure. I think it's Trading Community UK, and everybody bloody fell out. Well, everybody's fine now. Everyone speaks, but it was just this mad big fucking beef, and then from one figure group there was like about 5 splinters from it, But yeah, the diorama shit, I don't know. It's a strange thing. I speak to two guys who do them. There's not many, and if they do, they don't broadcast that they do. The 2 main builders over here, other than me, I don't speak to them. So
what's the last name? Smith? Isn't he over in the UK?
Tom Smith. Oh, is it Smith? You've got Sammy Maxwell does them. I think Badger Dios. I don't know who he is. I don't know his name but Smith. Was it? I think Tom Green. Tom Green does them.
Not the comedian.
Who? Oh, is he
The
a comedian?
comedian? No, I don't know.
Oh, it is, no. I don't know anyone called Smith, though.
Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong on where he's located. Um,
There's not many that I know of anyway, not to the extent you see with the Americans. Dale Jarry, he does them, he's good.
a lot of haters out there. The DNC.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I want to kind of change, because I mean we can all learn from each other, right? We don't have. I mean, we all have
Yeah,
a space as far as
I
our
haven't
style
spoke,
goes.
I haven't spoke to those two, and I've never really spoke about it in a forum like this. But and I have no issue with either of them. I think Tom Green, his work's fantastic, but he's like I'm never going to badmouth him. I never would. He's admin, and we have mutual friends in groups and stuff. But I don't know whether he got pissed off with me asking a question about the because I didn't do the grouting all the time in the brick, and he did some fantastic, the grouting in the bricks. And I asked him a couple of questions about it, and then I was blocked. So I don't. And it wasn't that long ago. Before that, he was buying slots in raffles on, because I used to use a raffle group in the UK, and I'd raffle my dioramas in there. So I don't know. I don't feel any competition, because I like that. I enjoyed looking at his work. Sammy Maxwell again. Sammy Maxwell does some fucking brilliant work. When you see that he's really good with commission specific things that people ask him to do. So I don't know. I always feel like there's this weird underlying issue, but there's certainly not one from me. I just do my own thing. I get on with everybody. Like I say, I wouldn't say a bad word about either of them, but it's not like America where there's thousands of you doing it, isn't there? Over here, there's probably like 10 of us if you're lucky. I wouldn't like to say. I've always thought that Louise Townend was the best. Who I learnt from. I don't think she does them anymore though. But yeah, she was bloody good.
I was talking Joshua Smith. I guess he's not from the UK. I don't know where he's from.
Doesn't ring any bells.
Yeah. But he's big. He's like 133,000 followers on Instagram. I don't know. But
what does he go under then? Does he go under a different name, or is it just?
It's Joshua Smith, street artist, but he may not be UK, or he may be American. I don't know. Elizabeth, where are you from? She said there's not many people that want to share or learn. But that's one of the things. Like, I don't know if other people's doing it or not, but like that's why I want to pull all these artists together. We can all learn from each other, help grow new artists. Like Diorama, Wheels for Legs. Like, he's new to the Dio game, but he's killing it. Like, his first couple of pieces have been crazy, and to know that that's just his first couple of pieces, like, he's going to do great stuff. And then he's being inspired by folks like us, which is awesome. And
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I mean, I've talked someone through step by step how to do a brick wall. The brick wall, how I do the my base coat, and then I grout it, and the ceiling, and I'll show them a picture of how I do it. People ask me a lot about the lights, and if I get the message and I'm free to reply, I'll happily talk about how I do stuff. Some things like Josh Green with some things you've just got to keep to yourself. If that, you know what I mean, you've got to have a bit of, I pretty much will just tell everything how I do it. There's only a few things the few things I don't is more to do with like the colours and stuff that I keep to myself. But in terms of technique, and again, I'll happily, I might say, I'll ask someone. I've messaged Euler's work. I've messaged him and asked him questions before, and he's always patiently replied to me. He's a very polite guy. Me and Tech Chucker have spoke. I've told him a few things. When we've been speaking, and because he's always like, "How the hell do you work so fast?" So I try and tell him how I do it. Because even though he has that program, you can see his progression as a builder as well. Because you see the ones he did himself, and you can see he's obviously been putting the work in. But I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen much of yours. I need to have a nosy. How many have you built? Quite a few dioramas.
I've been slow here lately because I have some big ones, but I built a handful of decent dioramas. And most of them are on YouTube or Instagram. But what I post is like in progress shots. I end up failing to get the end results, because I just want to share how I do things, and show that I'm doing stuff. And a lot of times is just showing the tools that I'm using, or like a process that I'm using. But I've done, last year I did like 12 corner dioramas, maybe 5 alley dioramas. Those are really popular. I tend to find that I only do commission-based things. I did my first sci-fi diorama last year, and that came out really cool. I like incorporated LEDs and stuff, and like a real moving door. But I don't get to do as many as I want, just because, it's not my full-time thing. I wish it was, but you can see my progression. Like my first one was like brickwork, right? And it was like a sewer diorama, and you could just see the natural progression. But I'm learning from the community, and I didn't have anybody. Nothing like this was out there at the time where I'd been watching it. So being able to pull in like a community of diorama artists and start creating that is what I'm trying to do. With the YouTube channel, I have a Discord set up with a bunch of artists, and people can get on there and talk. And I'm hoping, new artists are coming in to, learn, from us and start building that community up. And, hopefully people from the UK, if there's more people watching, they can do the same. Right. And,
I think a lot of people get stuff out of the tutorials. I mean, I don't tend to watch them, and I certainly don't, I don't. I've just asked I just usually ask someone a direct question of how to do something. I don't tend to watch the tutorials, but because most of the ones I've seen, when it comes to things like grouting, I think they're doing it the hard way. But I don't stop. I get asked a lot. Oh, I don't do in progress pictures. I'm just that quick when I'm working. I don't stop to think, and I'll take a picture of this paint drying or something. I don't know if you have no patience or what, but I just tend to will answer the question as opposed to just stopping and taking photographs. But because there's quite a few on dio structures. I think there's only 2 admins on that. Alex, I forget his name. So I can't remember his name, but he does quite a lot of tutorials, I've noticed. But yeah.
Oh, Al Figures?
No, of the dioramas, and how to do them. He does loads of tutorials, but I can't remember his name. Alex Salvador, I don't know. There's 2 guys with a dead similar name on dio structure who are admin. They mustn't like me because they always take ages to approve my stuff. It's because I'm English. That's what it is, isn't it? I'm only joking. No.
Nah. We'll see. I don't. That's Facebook. I don't really get on Facebook and post. I probably should, because there's a huge, community over there that I need to get into that. Actually, one of the guys, Mike Hamsey, I think he's an admin for Dio Structure. We're gonna have him on later this year, and he's also local. It's strange, there's so many local diorama artists, but he's a cool artist.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of people on the East Coast, isn't there? A lot of dio builders over that end, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of dio builders. Yeah, West Coast though, there's so many more people on the West. It seems like everybody's West Coast, but now that we talk about it, there's a lot of East Coast guys too that I've come to get to know.
You don't get many in the middle, from like Wisconsin, do you, or places like that? I'm guessing.
No, not really. I'm actually from the middle. My entire family is from like the Mississippi area, like Arkansas, Kansas, Illinois, Chicago.
Yeah.
There's not really a whole lot. 796 Studios is, I think, Chicago area.
Yeah.
But
I tend to send more to New York than anywhere else. I've sent so many to like New York and places like that. That's the LA a couple of times, but pretty much New York every time I ship one over there. But which is surprising because there's so many, and that's why I think it comes down to the cost, because there's so many builders on the East Coast. Why are they getting them off someone in England? I think it's because of the price, isn't it? But I understand that shipping sometimes in the US, if you're on the East Coast and you buy from the West Coast, it'll cost you as much to get it shipped as it would from me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's scandalous price for the post. Yeah,
but
I've never had any issues with it sending to the US. It's always been pretty smooth.
Yeah, I've sent some stuff over to the UK, like Dan Who Reviews. You familiar with him?
No, I don't know him. No,
but he's an action figure guy. But I sent some stuff to him one time, and besides the customs stuff you got to fill out, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I did an X-Mansion diorama last year, and USPS or US FedEx, it was like
Yeah.
$2,000 to ship this thing.
Jesus Christ! And was it collapsed though? Was the diorama?
Oh yeah, it collapsed. I ended up having to ship it freight, which means you put it on a pallet and you put it on the back of an 18-wheeler, and they ship it somewhere. That only was like $250, but yeah, it was huge. It was like 6 feet by like 8 feet.
I tell you who I've missed out here, who we haven't mentioned at all. Is it Halicon Works? You must have seen his stuff. Is that how you say it? Halicon Works? I can't remember his bloody name. He makes some mad stuff in. He has a lot of Japanese theme to his stuff. He'll make the fucking it'd be like a Japanese street, and he have all the vending machines and everything. Halicon Works. I think he's on the. I'm pretty sure he's over like LA that way somewhere. You must have seen his stuff. What's his name?
Probably.
Brandon. Oh God, I forget his name. I'm shit with names, me. Brandon something his name is. Halicon Works, I think it's called. His stuff's like on another level. But I don't know.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I don't know who he makes them for, because I never see him put them up for sale. I assume he's just they're just commissions, but
right.
But is it unreal? Yeah.
Oh, Al Figures is Al. So yeah, we were talking about Al Figures earlier for Dio Structure.
And he's
yeah. Yeah. Looks like there's some more folks from the Chicago area, Foam Formers, who's in here tonight. Who will before we hang this up, we'll do a little run through from Foam Formers. I've got a video of just the stuff that they posted.
That was
all right, so we're getting down to the 2-hour mark. So this is what we should do, Lee. Let's do the giveaway. Who you want to? Let me actually show the figure I'm giving away tonight. I never did that. Let me grab it real quick. This rocker here, I gotta get rid of it. So it'll be a winner's choice. So whoever you pick, it's one of these two figs, just one of these two, and this is compliments of Toy Maestro. He is supplying all the figs this year, but it's your choice. Whoever you want to take this figure home, as long as they're in the chat when you say their name, I will send this to them at no charge. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I was on the spot all last season. So
I'm going to go with Elizabeth, because she smashes fuck out of dioramas and stuff as well when she gets angry. So
there you go. You go.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth, if you can, hit me up over on Instagram. If you want to go ahead and say which figure you want now, that'd be awesome, so I know. But I will send you one of these two figures. Just pick it out. And you can thank Lee for that. So make sure you're following Lee. And if you don't mind, please follow me as well on Instagram. And it's High School Creations over on Instagram. So congratulations, Elizabeth. Still rigged. No matter what, it's going to be rigged.
How could it be rigged? I don't know any of them.
There you go. It's somehow rigged. Rig this for me. Sorry. But yeah, congratulations, Elizabeth. Just let me know what figure you want. Hit me up on Instagram. Send me your address. No cost to you. I'll send you one of those figs. Elizabeth is Mike's sister. I don't know. No. Oh, there you go. Helicon Works. Awesome. Rainy cyberpunk dioramas. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. Wow, his stuff's fucking next level. Yeah.
Cool. So next week, we're going to have Namai Customs. Namai Customs was our first person last year on season 1. I don't know if you're familiar with Namai, But he does some great work here recently. He's been doing some animated, like cell shading type Technodrone dioramas for like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But he'll be on next week. What is Elizabeth saying? Oh, I have a brother named Mike. This is not rigged. That's not my sister.
It sounds rigged now, Mike. Sounds rigged.
Hey, you picked.
Too many mics flying about.
Dude, everybody's named Mike. There's so many Mikes. So yeah, so next week, Namai Customs. Again, congratulations, Elizabeth. Lee, thank you so much. I know it's late. What is it, like 3, almost 4 o'clock your time now? And you were just at a big concert.
I must say, I do apologize for being sprawled on the couch like I'm fucking Cleopatra or something. I did say to you, I had every intention of like looking a bit more sat up. You know, I was going to put some figures behind me and shit. And then I got home and I had this big American-sized fucking meal, and I'd had a few sides, and I thought, I can't get off this couch now. You know what I mean?
It's Saturday night. I see the person fanning you. Who's fanning you over there? Is there somebody with the fan? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm putting the grapes in my mouth.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought he was in here.
You can see that person?
You know, get burgled.
No, it's cool. It's supposed to be really chill. Like I said, I really want this to be like, like I was telling you yesterday, like we're at a pub just talking, with, all these people about dioramas and just getting to know you and, over a beer or whatever it may be. So it's cool. I just hate that it's so late for you. And
no, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else. I'm going to make sure I'm up for them. If I'm not here for the live chat, I'll definitely be watching everybody else. The next day. Like, so who is it next week?
Namai Customs. So this week I'm gonna put up the schedule. Everybody send me their dates this week, so I'll put up the schedule next week so people know. But yeah, check it out. I mean, everybody has a little bit different style, and it's all from their background, right? That's why I don't want to consider it an interview, but it is an interview, right? Get to know you as an artist, your background. That's what makes you and what you do, and hopefully can inspire others, and hopefully it'll also, be able to lead you to more sales if that's what you want. Hopefully those 3 dioramas will be gone tomorrow. I know probably 2 will be. So it's all about the artist, and I hope that that's the way this comes off. But well, so yeah, next week is Namai Customs. And Lee, before we go, if you don't mind, tell everybody how they can find you, what platforms you on, how to follow you, how to see your work.
Yeah, just in Facebook and Instagram on the Diorama Boy. I don't think there's another Diorama Boy. If there is, he's just a cheap imitation. So I don't know. I think there's some German guy. Forget about him. I don't know who he is. He stole my name. So just Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, I'll keep putting them out there. December. So after December, there probably won't be any more until I lose about 5 stone and I've got a hair transplant, and then I might start making some. So if Mike sends some hair, then I'll start again. But yeah,
there we go.
But thanks for having me on it. I'm looking forward to it all day. It's what I've ploughed through like I'm half dead, but because I was looking forward to it that much to talk about dioramas and stuff with you. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said before, like you were one of the ones I wanted to talk to. Your work is just stand out amazing. And I'm so grateful you were able to come on, even with the time difference and, your other plans going on, right? You got real life. So thank you so much for doing this. Hopefully, we can talk more in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it was fun. And before we go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video, basically just going through Foam Formers, post for this past week. I think you're in a few of them actually. And then if you don't mind, Lee, just hanging out for that, just want to talk to you once we end the live. I actually want to buy a diorama from you. So that's what I want to talk about. So we'll play this. It's only about 5 minutes. And then guys, we'll end the live. And then Lee, I'll talk to you backstage. So again, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Ends season 1, but kicks off in season 1. Ends episode 1, kicks off season 2, and here we go. Foam Formers real. Thanks, guys. Thanks for everybody coming out and checking it out. Lee, just hold on, and I'm gonna buy that dio from you. Here we go. Foam Formers. Follow them. Instagram. Oh, well, it just ended abruptly. Hey, we're out, guys. Bye. See you next Saturday with the My Customs. Later.